Hello everyone and welcome to another game from the Prague Chess Festival, but this time from the Challenger section. It is from the final round and it is the clash that will decide first place. Anton Korobov, the man with the great hair and the devil's rating against 14-year-old, I believe 15-year-old international master from Turkey, Ediz Gurel. And before we get to this game, I would just like to show you the standings of the Masters section because we haven't seen them. Some of the games were still being played while I was making that last video. So Noderbek, of course, won with 6.5 points out of 9. Stellar performance. Like I said, he finished brilliantly. Okay, the last game ended in a draw, but it was still a fighting draw, and all of his games were incredibly fighting. And he finishes ahead of world champion Ding Liren on the live ratings list. Is currently world number 4 in rankings. Then we have with 5 points Parham Maxulu Pragnananda and Van. With 4.5 points Gukesh, David Navarra, Richard Rapport. With 3.5 Vincent Keimer and Mateusz Bartel. And with 3 points Virid Gujarati. 3 out of 9, definitely not a result you would expect from Virid, but if you have to have such a result, better to have it in a tournament that comes before the candidates tournament, not at the candidates tournament. So hope he recovers nicely for the candidates. And yeah, let's check out this one. What happened in the final round? Anton Korobov with the white pieces opens with pawn to f4, and it's been a while since we've seen the birds opening. So you know that Anton really wants to win this one, and he can win against anyone. He going into this round, he was on 5 points. Ediz was on 5.5. So getting a draw here isn't really working for Anton. He really wants to win, and he has the white pieces. Plus, he's the top seed of the event, and he can beat pretty much anyone. And he has defeated everyone. He defeated literally everyone. He defeated world champion Vishwanathan Anand. He defeated world champion Magnus Carlsen when he was world champion. I was in 2016 in Doha in Qatar in the World Rapid Championship with the black pieces. So I mean, he can just demolish anyone, and with the white pieces, well, he's just amazing. So let's see how Ediz plays against him. We have pawn to d5, and now knight to f3. We have pawn to c5, grabbing the center, pawn to g3, and knight to c6. We have bishop to g2, g6, and castles kingside. We have bishop to g7, d3, and now knight to f6. Queen to e1. Korobov hoping to get e4 in, but Ediz says nope, not happening. Pawn to d4. So here, pawn to c3, challenging Ediz's center. We have castles, and now knight to a3. Bishop to e6. Again, this has all been played before. We have bishop to d2, queen to d7, now even with ideas of maybe trading off the light square bishops. Knight to g5, attacking and defending the h3 square. So bishop to f5 and knight to c4. We have h6, chasing away the knight, knight to f3, and only now bishop to h3. Knight c to e5, attacking the queen here. Knight captures on e5, f captures, and there is a game where knight captures on e5 was played. Here we have f captures on e5, and it is now as of move 15 that we have a completely new game. So okay, d captures on c3, we have b captures on c3, and now knight to d5. A very active square for the knight, and you while you do want to play c4 at some point, not maybe right away, the knight will be very comfortable on c7, and your rook is still on a1. So first we have a trade here. Bishop captures on h3, queen captures, and now queen to f2. The f file is semi-open, and if the rook moves from f8, could be very unpleasant for young Ediz here. Rook a to c8, and only now pawn to c4. The knight moves now to b6. We have rook a to b1, preparing to put pressure on the b7 pawn, and you kind of get the idea of what Anton is trying to make this game all about. He wants to play rook b3, rook f to b1, push a4, a5, kick away the knight, win the b7 pawn, and of course Ediz will try to stop that, but that's what the plan is. So rook to c7, you have to prepare for that. Bishop to a5 now, and not allowing the knight to move as the rook is on c7. Queen to e6, also defending the knight because there was the simple threat of just winning a pawn here. So queen defends and also puts pressure on the e5 pawn, but just rook to b5. And now the problem is, even though you're attacking it twice, you can't really take it, because if you take it, look at this, knight captures, queen captures, and d4. You cannot capture with the pawn as the queen would hang. So queen captures, and now after c captures, c5, and now you win. So there's no move here. So after rook to b5, we have rook f to c8, nicely doubling up on the c file, and pawn to h4. We have rook to c6 and now king to g2. Again, you can't really capture, even though the rook moved from the f8 square, the f7 pawn will not be defended. You still cannot capture. Sorry, you still cannot capture with the bishop, as if you would do that, for example, bishop captures, then just knight captures, and queen captures on f7. As we said, the rook moves from f8. So here, pawn to a6, chasing away the rook, rook to b3, and now knight to d7. And this is how you unpin. You're offering the b7 pawn for the e5 pawn, and it's not such a terrible maybe a line for Anton, but like I said, he has to win this. A draw is not enough for him to win the event. If you go for this, knight captures on e5, knight captures, bishop captures, and now the game continues. Something like maybe bishop d2 attacks the pawn, king to h7, or not king to h7, pawn to h5. You don't give up the pawn just like that, or leave the defense of the f7 pawn, and then something like rook f to b1. And the game continues. But here after knight d7, d4 was played. And okay, c captures, knight captures, attacks the queen, queen captures on c4, and now pawn to e6. We reached the position I decided to use for the thumbnail, as this is where Anton decided, okay, a draw is not enough here, I must win this game. And now the queen no longer is actively defending the f7 pawn. Queen captures on f7 is coming. So for example, even though the knight is attacked twice, if you capture, then queen captures on f7, then you capture on d7, could be very unpleasant. So here, instead, we have queen to d5 with check, and this is the proper way to do things, as it forces Anton to make a move, the only move that gives him an equal position here. So what would you play here if this was your position with white? Just imagine it's a blitz game or a bullet game. What do you play here? Don't overthink it. Well, you would probably play something like knight back to f3, or you would move the king, or something like that. But the correct move is pawn to e4. Even Anton did not find it. Anton just blocked with the queen. He played queen to f3. But just to show you why e4 is so strong. The e4 is so strong because you leave the defense of d7. That's the whole point. In the game, queen to f3 was played, and now, after queen captures on d4, if you capture on d7, the queen is still defending the d7 pawn. But just to give you an example of what happens after e4, queen captures on e4, and now you play king to h3. If you tried this in the other line with the queen on d5, if you went king to h3, then for example bishop captures on d4, and after queen captures on f7, king h8 and e captures on d7, the queen defends the d7 square, so it's not a problem. Otherwise it would be a problem. The bishop covers d8, you would have a d8 queen. So that's the idea behind it. But okay, in the game, queen to f3 was played, and now pawn to and now queen captures on d4, grabbing the knight, and of course e captures on d7. You could also play queen captures on f7. First here, e captures on d7, attacks the rook, and now queen captures on d7. And now queen captures on f7. We have king to h7, and now rook to d3, attacking the black queen, queen to e6, offering a trade, and now rook to f2. So definitely Ed is now better. He's up a pawn, and he does have 2-1 advantage on the queen side, so that's where he will want to look for winning chances. But this is still a very, very long way from actually winning this position against Anton Korobov. So queen to e4 with check, queen back to f3, and now queen to a4, putting pressure on the bishop, bishop to d8, and now queen captures on a2, bishop captures on e7, and queen to e6 again puts pressure on the bishop, bishop back to b4, and pawn to h5. We have rook to e3, attacking the queen, queen to c4, tripling on the c-file, and now rook to e4, attacking and defending the bishop, queen to d5, and now rook to e7, offering a queen trade, and here Eddie goes for the trade. We have captures, and rook 8 to c7. Offering a trade of rooks, we have rook f to f7, and now rook captures on e7. Rook captures and pawn to b5. Now the pawns start marching forward. We have rook to a7, going after the a6 pawn, and king to g8. Now unpinning from the from the rook here. With the king on h7, you have to be very careful, so bishop to f8 doesn't land, and then you just lose the bishop. So rook to a8 with check, king to f7, rook to a7 with check, king to f6, and now king to f3. Anton also starts bringing his king into the game. Bishop to h6, pawn to e3, and pawn to g5 now. Bishop to e7 with check, and now king to g6. And here you have to play h captures on g5. It's the only way for you to survive this game. But Anton played king to e4, and he missed one very important thing, and that is g captures on h4, bishop captures on h4, and now rook to e6 with check. He played king to d5, and now, of course, you see what Anton missed. Feel free to pause the video and win the game for Edis while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding this tricky move. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is bishop captures on e3. That's the good stuff. Not rook captures, then rook captures on a6 comes with check, and then it's a draw. But after bishop captures, the rook on a7 is also hanging. So a tough break for Korobov. Plays rook to a8, but now king to f7 just defends the rook. We have rook to d8, but now rook to b6, and now with 2 extra pawns, of course, this is objectively winning. But still, I mean, you have to be very careful. King to e4 attacks the bishop, bishop to h6, and now king to f5. We have rook to b7. Rook to d6 attacks the bishop and the a6 pawn, and now bishop to g7. So Edis decides to give back 1 pawn in order to start advancing the past b pawn. Rook captures on a6, but not right away. First bishop to f6 was played. One last attempt, but even with the captures, it's of course still winning. Doesn't really matter. So here just pawn to b4. We have bishop captures on g7, king captures, rook to g6 with check, king to h7, and now rook captures on a6. Now he captures it, but still the pawn just marches forward. Pawn to b3, rook to a1, we have pawn to b2, rook to b1, and now king to g7. And it was in this position on move 63 that Anton Korobov resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. So not the most chess-like thing to do. You know, you could have been resigned on move 64, but I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? So yeah, very nicely done by a 15-year-old international master Edis Gurel, who, by defeating Anton Korobov in the final round of the Prague Chess Festival Challengers section, wins the event with 6.5 out of 9, same as Nodrubek winning the Masters event, also with 6.5 out of 9, so stellar performance. And yeah, not only that, he got his 3rd Grandmaster norm, and with the 1st of next month, he will be Edis Gurel, a Turkish Grandmaster. And yeah, these are his opponents from the event, so he did not lose a single game. Started off with a draw against Abhimanyu Mishra, then a win against Vaishali, a draw against Maxim Rothstein, then 2 victories in a row against Stepan Hrbek and Václav Finek, then 3 draws in a row, International Master Richard Stalmach, Jamie Santos Latasa, Erwin Lamy, and in the final round defeating Anton Korobov with the black pieces. That is definitely something else. So yeah, big congratulations. I mean, you know, winning the event, winning the Grandmaster title, that is, of course, at 15 years of age, absolutely amazing stuff. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot more of Mr. Edis Gurel, not just everywhere, but also on this channel. And also, we have featured him once before on this channel, last year in the FIDE World Cup against Velimir Ivic. If you haven't seen that game, it's a wonderful attacking game. Will be the first link in the description below, so check that out as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely done. I mean, always Anton Korobov, probably the most unpleasant opponent for any player to face. You know, Edis was able to overcome him with the black pieces. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Kerkesh Tibor, Kellen is the best girlfriend, bulletchessthriller.com, Tom from Tipperary, and Luke Donato for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.